so much soul. About to bust out the room. All different flavors, way more than 32. From these shoes, you can't mess with these dudes. Nike Reeboks, about soccer knees. Golden Gooses on dudes, it's crazy. Converse the lab made like easy.
What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Soul Brother, hosted by yours truly, Flex Luther. And today, guys, we are blessed with a guest. What's up? What's new? And how you feeling, my guy?
Man, what's going on, Flex? What's going on? I'm feeling good, man. Feeling good. Yeah.
I like it, man. For the people that don't know who you are, man, introduce yourself, give a little small introduction, and you know what you want these people to know about you.
Absolutely. So my name is Khullen Watson. I go by Khullen the KATALYST on all forms of social media. I'm a footwear designer, formerly of Nike. Worked at Nike for a little bit, not directly in footwear design, but worked in like around design like quite a bit. So I was able to touch a few products and design shirts and a little bit of everything through there, which was super, super cool. And yeah, man, I come from like a medical background. So, you know, I worked in X-ray for a while, and I really feel like, you know, between that and going to Pensole a couple of different times, that's what makes me a more like divergent designer. So yeah. It's my little brief summary of.
I like it, man. But before we get too deep into it, man, what was that pair that you had on feet?
So today I'm wearing my first shoe, the KATALYST 1. I have the lavender on foot today. So this is what I'm rocking today. Yeah.
Okay, I like that.
Lavender. Yeah. My first 3D printed shoe from my company. They come out in about 5 different colors. That lavender is my mom's favorite color, so that's the pair I chose for today. Show her some love, man.
Yeah, for sure, man. Shout out to all the moms in the world, man. We need you guys. No matter what people be saying, man, we need you guys.
2,000%.
Yeah, for sure. What I went with today, I went with the Olympic Retro 7 2012. There's not much needs to be said. It's the Olympic 7s, man, classic colorway. Sure we're gonna get these here soon. I mean, we already Raptors playoffs, charcoal, whatever you want to call them. They're dropping again here soon. So I don't see why we won't be getting those Olympic 7s here soon again.
Absolutely, still such a fire pair, man.
Yeah. Yeah, man. That pair got away from me in the year of 2012, but eventually I was able to spin the block and get me a pair, and it was everything I thought it would be.
I like that. I love that for you.
Yeah. But man, let's get into it, man. So my first question is, what inspired the KATALYST Footwear, and the backstory for the name of the brand?
So KATALYST really comes from a couple of things. During my time at Nike, I met a guy who goes by the moniker of KATALYST, and man, he was just an integral part of me knowing that it's possible for me to become what I had in mind to become when I left Texas all those years ago and moved out to Oregon, really with no job. His name is actually Kevin Carroll. So Kevin Carroll, KATALYST on Instagram. And man, he just, if you know him, he has such a bubbly, just always happy, smiling, just welcoming persona. And he helped me get through some of those days that would kind of weigh on you and make you feel like, bro, I don't know why I'm out here. I don't know why I moved. I don't know what I'm pursuing. But I got to see him like maybe probably a couple of months before I ended up moving from Oregon, from my last Nike contract back to Texas, where I'm from and where I live currently. And he was just like, man, whatever you're working on, I know it's going to be big. And he was like, just remember, you're a catalyst. Like, no matter where they put you, you're a catalyst. So my first job on Nike campus, world headquarters, I worked in the cafeteria. And even then, he saw me as a catalyst. You know, I'm back there washing dishes, and every time he'd see me, he'd be like, oh, that's my man from Tyler, Texas. He's a catalyst. He a game changer. He's a trailblazer. And I would just, you know, after a while of hearing it from somebody else, I just kind of owned it. And then I feel like also, you know, life is made up of catalyst moments. So everything in between is what makes you as a person, but it takes all of those things to get to the catalyst moments, whether they're good or bad. But you know, graduating something like that is a catalyst moment. But every catalyst moment has a starting line and a finish line attached to it. So as soon as you cross that line, you're over into the next thing. And so calling my company Catalyst was a way to, you know, just keep that thing in mind, who you're becoming in between those catalyst moments. And then I use the K just because my first name starts with a K. Cullen starts with a K. So, but yeah, that's a little bit about the company name and kind of background of why I called it what I called it.
I mean, I like that. I like that because I mean, that's such a selfless act to, you know, name your company based off of someone else's name or what they may go by. Because a lot of people would have come up with something that was more, well, I mean, it's personal to you, but represents them or something that they came up with, their name, their, or, you know, their alternate persona or something like that. So I like that, man. I like that for real.
Thank you. Thank you, man. One of my favorite designers in the world is Wilson Smith, and he always shows love to other people. Like he's such a selfless person. And if you know Wilson, you just know that from him that he's always highlighting other people. And so I kind of pulled what I liked about all of these men and women that I met during my Nike time. I pulled a lot of things from them that made me like them as a person. And I was just like, you know, if I have the opportunity, I'm going to highlight people as well. So this gives me a chance to talk about Kevin Carroll that a lot of people might not know within the footwear industry. But now, you know, hopefully you'll look him up and you'll go down the path of of kind of seeking out who he is. Yeah.
I like it, man. I like it. So how many prototypes did it take for you to realize, all right, this is the one I'm gonna go with. This is the one that's dropped.
I want to say, so when I'm designing something, I feel like I take cues from everything around me, and it's like everything is being poured into me at once, and it's really for me to kind of weed that out in a process of, you know, just elimination of this may work better for the foot, this may work better for this specific use. And then Nike designs around this thing like form follows function. And so, you know, whatever it's going to function as starts to take on the form of a thing. And so I knew I was creating a lifestyle shoe, but I know people that buy my stuff are probably going to be working a 9 to 5 or this or that. And they just needed something comfortable. So when I started going through models and breakdowns of a shoe, we started with something like low cut like this. And this is just like a real like plastic 3D printout of like rough printout of what I had in mind at first. And, you know, we started with something like this. I did about 5 variations of that. And we saw that it wasn't going to hit the foot exactly how I wanted it to. And so I was just like, man, we have to adjust. We have to bring the collar up and certain things like that. So I would say that's the long way of saying probably 8 to 9 iterations before we got to something a little bit higher on the ankle, on the foot. And me just kind of going back to a design ethos of form follows function. What do I want this to function as? And so that's what helped me kind of build a better shoe. And then taking cues from some of my favorite shoes, you know, growing up.
Yeah.
It was a longer process than it should have been.
Hey man, perfection takes time. It's all good.
Yeah.
And what was some of those shoes that you took inspiration from?
So growing up, man, I had probably 5 shoes that I just fell in love with just over time. But that first Iverson shoe, the Question with the kind of separated toe piece, I had about 5 pair of those. Like my mom got tired of me like asking her to buy me this same shoe in every color that it dropped in. So when I got to my shoe, I just wanted to pay homage to the shoes that kind of got me into footwear, just how things look, how things feel. And so that first Iverson shoe kind of with the toe separated, I wanted to do that on my shoe. The Jordan 15 with that like really progressive cut, how the 15 is kind of cut. The Kobe 2 from Adidas, like That thing looked like a brick. Like it was like the Tesla truck of shoes at the time.
Hmm.
But I love like the overall shape of it. So I kind of reverted back to that to kind of fill out like a shape. Like the Jordan
Hmm.
5 and 6 had the protruding ankle structures on the side. Like I just love that as a design element, even though it doesn't make it more sturdy per se. I think it's
Hmm.
more of like a mind thing. Like you just
Yeah.
feel more structurally sound in the shoe. But then yeah, so it was like different cuts of shoes like that. And then when I first got to Nike, somebody gave me a Jordan 28 with the decoupled sole, which D just die, two different
Hmm.
sole pattern. And then
Yep.
it had a midfoot shank plate that kind of bounce your foot could bounce on. And
Hmm.
so I put that on and I was like, yo, we going with that. So like those are more of the shoes that I kind of use to
Hmm.
um just take from a retro thing and build a thing for now, like for present, you know.
I like it. I like it. So, out of those five pairs, which silhouette was the one that spoke to you and was like, all right, you know what? I love buying shoes, but I would love to actually design them and make my own.
The funny thing, I think growing up, the Jordan 12 was the shoe that made me say, these are coming from somewhere. I
Hmm.
need to find out where they're coming from. I think it was one of those just like um this word that I kind of made up. I need to trademark it, so don't trademark it. It's simplexity, like
Hmm.
simple and complex. Like it was simple yet complex in
Hmm.
design and tech and all the things, especially for that time. But seeing the Jordan 12 and that Iverson question, I was just like, bro, I'm not a sneakerhead, but those two shoes together, I was like, you got me. And then the Kobe 2 from Adidas was one of those ones that, you know, a lot
Hmm.
of people didn't like. But it stuck out to me as a kid. So like really out of those three, like you can find me in any three of those paired growing up.
I like it. I like it. So when you think about the what you've created and what you've designed, when it comes to your footwear, what is the gap that you're trying to fill within the footwear industry?
To me, like right now, because of certain things with Adidas and other creators, and
Mm-hmm.
a lot of things that are going on, like progressively, like so around COVID time, I remember Nike starting to think about like, yo, we got to think about comfort. People are stuck in the house. Like, we can't give them a $200 basketball shoe right now. So, if you remember around that time, like you're getting all of the slides, mules, everything, you know,
Mm-hmm.
pretty much everything they could hit you with. And Crocs was at a resurgence around that time. So you got Crocs, you got Yeezy foam
Mm-hmm.
runners, and you got Nike getting into that comfort space, that lifestyle space. And around that time, somebody asked me, you know, like, what would you put out if you could put out anything? And I was like, well, I'd do a slip-on shoe, like easy to clean, easy to wear, super comfortable. But I'd make it more like a sneaker because, like, I like to wear sneakers, you know, specifically. And
Mm-hmm.
if I could get a sneaker style with that level of comfort and build, then I'm doing it. You know, it's easy to clean and all the things. And so during that time around Nike, I was able to go in around like innovation and see that they were 3D printing all of these things, and like all of these things are kind of going on in the midst. And this is like
Mm-hmm.
2020, 2021. And so when I'm thinking like, okay, I want a sneaker based, slip on, comfortable, blah, blah, blah around
Mm-hmm.
2020, it would have been something like almost exactly like this. And so when I got the opportunity to make my first thing, I'm working around 3D printing. I'm like, yo, let's do it. Like, let's do the slip on sneaker that's easy wear, easy care,
Mm-hmm.
and easy to style. Like you can style it
Yeah,
up or style it down. So yeah, that's where the thinking came from.
I like it. Have you now that you've kind of gotten your foot in the door and you're really into it, have you ever thought about using another material?
Yeah, I will say that I've thought about like traditional footwear, and you know, like thankfully, I know people in non-traditional sense as far as like 3D printing and
Mm-hmm.
traditional like footwear. So I can get either or manufactured, which is, it puts me in a it puts me in a good place. If people want to work for me and they want traditional or non-traditional, or they want me to consult or design for them, I can do either or. Um, I do think that we'll probably kind of mix and match at some point, like a hybrid type of situation, like Adidas with 3D printed, and then like bring materials into like the somewhere in the upper or the tongue,
Yeah.
and maybe even add laces. I'm more of a let's streamline it as much as possible and not add anything to it that's going to, one, cost us money, but two, make it more cumbersome for the consumer. So, it's really just market research to a point, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. When you talk about market research, how do you get people that just heard of your brand, first time being introduced to it? How do you get them to trust you and your brand?
Man, that is an excellent question. Trust is big in footwear, and I think that's why we
Mm-hmm.
keep getting retros, because it's a model that you trust, and
Mm-hmm.
things like that. But also, like, no knocks on anybody or any company.
Yeah.
I don't want no flack. But that's also why I'm like retroed out.
Mm-hmm.
During my time at that brand, like I saw so many of the same things coming out that I was just like, bro, I already have it in 3, 4 colors. Like, there's only so many special stories you can give me and material
Mm-hmm.
changes. So, um, like that's part of it, but also, um, as far as trust, so what I tend to do is I go to big sneaker events and I'll show up with
Mm-hmm.
my shoe, show up with the brand, and I allow people to try it on,
Mm.
um, and I know like that's like the long, the long game, and trying to get somebody to trust you in footwear, but I think the more people that I can touch specifically, like physically, like touch, and that get to handle the product, the easier it is to, um, not necessarily sell you, but like, yo, this is a viable product. This is a viable tech, and most people haven't
Mm-hmm.
even experienced a 3D printed shoe. So, like, I'm their first 3D printed like experience. So I really want them to feel the product, whether they buy it from
Mm-hmm.
myself or from Nike. Um, so that's one thing, letting them actually touch the product physically. I would say the second thing is knowing that my manufacturer is the same 3D printing manufacturer for Nike and just about everybody else in the 3D printed space. It already puts you on that
Yeah.
plateau, that level. And
Mm-hmm.
then I would say third, just getting people that people trust. Like we're starting to seed product and get it into the hands of, like sneaker content creators, and allowing them to experience the product. And so, like, you don't necessarily have to hear it from me or read it from the brand. You
Mm-hmm.
can go to a trusted source that's trying it out. So yeah, I would say those are probably the 3 points that are helping the most. But also, I'm still new to the space, bro. So I'm sure there's something that I'm not exploring that could help build the trust.
As it's all trial and error, man. You live and you learn, and I mean, this podcast, I've changed the audio 20 times and changed the video format, and just really playing with what works, and I'm well into 120 episodes plus. So it's all trial and error. When it comes to creating, designing your shoe, and do you ever get to a point where your creativity is kind of restrained because you're worried about like a shoe that someone would actually like, all right, I want to put this on, this looks good, and I want to put it on, because you're creating something new. This is not that trusted model, this is not your retro 12, this is not your Air Force One. So you're creating something
Mhm.
that you're like, it's gotta look good for the person to want to put it on their feet and actually wear it out.
Let me go back really quick. I was gonna say, trust too is me being at Nike for so long, seeing how hard they wear test their shoes.
Mm-hmm.
So I wore test my own shoe for months. I did everything that you're not supposed to do in it. I'm
Yeah, yeah.
I'm hooping, I'm hiking, I'm doing everything until it like tore. Like after
Yeah.
months and months of rigorous things from me just trying everything. And then my brother works at the post office and like they're in and out of the truck. They're doing like 100 things a day where they're on their feet, off their foot, driving. And he wore tested there. Then I had somebody in the medical field. And I had a barber wear test them for months, like coaches, people that are on their feet all the time. And
Mm-hmm.
so even going to talk to podiatrists, you know,
Mm-hmm.
like I try to be as thorough as I can before I put out a shirt, a shoe, or anything. Like you can trust that I probably watched that shirt 30 times,
That's what's up.
just to, doing stress tests and like, okay, I like
Mm-hmm.
it in this light or that light or whatever. So I think that's a part of trust for me. Like if I can trust a product that I'm building, that's why I
Mm-hmm.
know it's solid because I did everything to test it. Just like, like the whole Nike thing, they have multiple athletes, multiple builds testing these things all the time. And so that's a part of that question. But you're saying like as far as styling and things like that, I think style is subjective, bro. Like honestly, you know, I can look at the Olympic shoe that you brought up earlier and be
Mm-hmm.
like, nah, bro, I don't like the cut of this or the cut of that. You know
Mm-hmm.
how
Mm-hmm.
sneakers are,
Yeah, for
bro.
sure.
You can post five people can both post the same shoe and you get 2,500 different responses. you know,
Mm-hmm.
you see the garbage can emoji, the fire emoji, you see the whole thing. And so I think style is subjective and really to me it's really tailored to the person. I've seen different people wear my shoe and style it like per where they're going. Somebody wore it to a wedding and somebody wore it to like a 3-on-3 hooping thing just to have something cool to throw on real quick. So
Mm-hmm.
I think style in every shoe is subjective. So
I like it. Well, what was one of your biggest challenges, being an independent footwear company and a space dominated, by other companies like your Nike, like your Adidas and other brands?
oof. I think doing enough to stand out. Um,
Mm.
like if you're trying to go pro in basketball and everybody's at the same AAU circuit or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
um, you want to be the person that's dunking and not the person that's making the assist. But you, you know, but
Yeah.
you gotta understand like it's a total game, and the person making that assist is making you better. Is helping you
Mm-hmm.
score. So, I try to think about the lane that I'm playing in. Because we might not get you with the first one, but I have two or three more things already designed. So I'm in for the long game.
Mm-hmm.
If one doesn't get you, then 1.5 or 2, 3, 4 might get you. And so I don't play to where everybody's at. Just kind of reverting it back to sports. I was a point guard, bro, and I'm 5'7". So
Mm-hmm.
I can't play everybody's game. I have to play my game, play it as it comes,
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm kind of shifty, so if I see you can't guard left, then I'm playing left the whole game. And so
Yeah.
that's kind of how I look at the sneaker world. Like it looks like Adidas is going here. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
former Jordan and Nike designers have gone to Adidas, so you see their basketball thing going up. And I'm like, I like what they're doing, but putting my lens on it, I would go here. I like what Nike's doing with this, but putting my lens on it, I'm gonna go here. And so I really
Mm-hmm.
just kind of pick the lane that I'm the most comfortable with, and try to have all my growth come from that lane. If that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
When you talk about the one and what did you do? What did you learn from the one that got the person that they skipped out on the one and you create the 1.5 and they're like, all right, the 1.5 is where it's at. So what did you learn from your first customers that you put into the following designs?
Um, I would say I had a few things about like the entry point, a
Mm-hmm.
couple of things with fit here and there, and so I'm constantly listening to the people that bought from me. A lot of the people that bought
Mm-hmm.
first are like family and friends, right? So um, I just tell them, give me your unbiased opinion, not my cool smiling face that you want to please, but just,
Yeah.
give me like the real. And so it was a couple of things upon like entry and how they wanted to style it around the tongue and things like that, that I felt like immediately we could get better at. And to know me is to know that I'm always clawing at another like 1% of how to get better myself as a designer, as a
Mm-hmm.
person, but also how to make the products and the things that I'm working on just a little bit better. And like what's going to be newer and better and fresher for next year, so I'm already looking ahead of like we can make this better. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
constantly trying on other shoes. I'll try on a shoe from a company that I know and that I don't know. And I'm like, oh man, they got this right. So in my mind, I'm like, you know, highlighting all the things that I feel like people got right. And then I'm building how I can get more right. If that,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, no, for sure. When it comes to the materials you use, a 3D, 3D printed sneaker, that's something that's new. And I feel like sneakerheads are one of those people we love the OGs. We buy, like you said, we buy the same shoe, different colors for years.
yes.
Um, I got multiple colorways and silhouettes in the same silhouette. So what is your go-to line when it comes to someone that's like they're just afraid to try out a 3D printed sneaker, or they're just kind of against the idea?
Um, I really, I really try to gear it towards people who are open minded first.
Mm, I
And
got
that
you.
tends to be women. So women are my largest like buying demographic right now. And
Mm-hmm.
because they're just more free to trying more things. But
Mm-hmm.
man, I did like a quick project where someone asked me to work on like a skate shoe. And
Mm-hmm.
that is the one of the hardest communities to break in with something new, like innovate skate, because
Yeah.
they know how they want things to look, they know how they want things to feel. And if you're constantly up and down on your board and this and that, you're like, bro, don't mess with my
Yeah,
it could
yeah,
throw off your whole style.
yeah.
So
Your balance
I
and
was like,
everything. Yeah.
exactly. So I was just like, if I can penetrate that culture to really understand what they need and what they want, then they
Mm-hmm.
have to give it a try over time. So that's how I feel with the 3D printed thing. It's not to take the place of traditional footwear per se,
Mm-hmm.
but if we can give you something that's so similar, that feels so good, that we're replicating like fabric and it's this spongy, like
Mm-hmm.
bro, just give it a try. And so it's really like trying to get somebody to try new barbecue. I'm from Texas, bro. You can get good barbecue from the worst looking places or the best looking places, but
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna be pretty solid. So what does your barbecue do that this other place doesn't do? So, I had to think about like maybe we just need to change the bun. Not the barbecue, but just the bun. maybe
Nah, I
it's what
like
we
that.
maybe it's what we put around the shoe. Maybe it's
Mm-hmm.
the context and where we try to sell at. Because I know
Mm-hmm.
I worked in the medical field, and I'm like, bro, if I would have had this in the medical field, I'm working 12s. I need something that's comfortable, that's easy to clean. I might get a spill or a this or that or whatever. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's really like how we put it in context, I guess, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. When you say, like, you talk about changing the bun and what's around the shoe, when it comes to storytelling, how is important is that to your recipe and your formula when it comes to your footwear?
Super important. So there's like different elements just within the shoe that tell a whole story of themselves. You mind if I kind of get into that real quick?
Yo, yeah, for sure, man. Let's go.
But so just the first piece of storytelling, like this K logo,
Hmm.
this is something that my mom designed when I was in like third grade. And so she would write it on my boxes, my coloring boxes. She would take every individual crayon out that was in my box and put this logo on it. So I've been a brand since like third grade. But
That's
storytelling for
dope.
me goes that deep. It goes
Hmm.
that deep. And so I wanted for every time somebody put this shoe on, I put this K on the top because I wanted my mom to have like a stake in this, like how this feels to have a
Hmm.
product that's on other people, that travels with other people. And then
Hmm.
footwear is something that you take with you everywhere. Like you got to wear shoes, bro. So like whether you're in the airport, um, whether you're going to work or doing this or doing that, the footwear that you wear builds the story that you're on. you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so I was thinking about like, man, how do I tell people to chase their dreams and, you know, do this and do that, all the things that kind of help me feel like or be a catalyst or become a
Mm-hmm.
catalyst. And so I designed the outsole of this. Hopefully you can see the pattern.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is just half of the shoe, half of the pair, and it builds a dream catcher when they're both together. When both shoes are together, it builds a full dream catcher. And
Mm-hmm.
so I'm thinking about the print that we leave. You were talking about leaving a digital imprint that lasts for forever,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm thinking about an actual footprint. What do I want that lasting thing to say about me, about this shoe, about the person that's wearing it? And it's just
Mm-hmm.
like putting those two words together, dream and catcher. I think
Mm-hmm.
that's a very powerful thing, you know, on the way to what you're doing. And so during my time at Nike, I used to write like, believe in yourself, it's possible. So
Mm-hmm.
it's really, really scribbly in my
Mm-hmm.
scribbly handwriting, but it says it's possible on the bottom of both shoes on that shank plate. And so that's like a little bit of storytelling just within the product that I wanted
Mm-hmm.
people to get and feel and experience. And so I think storytelling for anything just adds a layer of like more importance to the project. Like
Mm-hmm.
the shoe that you showed at first, they didn't have to color it up in a way that it would be for Olympics or this and that.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're really into the Olympics, you're like, bro, that is my shoe. Like, you know, not only do I already like the shoe, but it's colored and material in a way that speaks to me. And so,
Mm-hmm.
man, that's something I kind of picked up along the way. Like people are really into these stories. Like, why do these shoes keep resonating with people and keep
Mm-hmm.
reselling? 10 years from now, this is going to be telling the same story, but to a different person. And so everybody that has a different dream can kind of get in on what this is.
Yeah, man. I love that, man. Um, I hate the term mama's boy, but I was raised in a single parent home by my mom, so I got mad love for my mom. Always, no matter how old I get, I'm always looking for her approval. So I shout out to you doing something like that. That's some again. That's that storytelling, and I think what's so important about storytelling is that you can relate. I don't know your story, but
Yeah.
I can relate to your story. I can see that through your love for your mom. I can relate like my love for my mom. And I'm like, that's something I would do, always a signal to her or a nod to her within everything that I do, the way I carry myself, the words that I speak are
Mm.
stemmed from the foundation that she put down, So I love that, man. That's dope, man. What was your mom's reaction to that when you brought that first design and you're like, look, here's that logo that you've always branded, like here it is on a product that I've created.
Man, that's so I think at the first of the conversation we were talking about just how I like to highlight people and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And me highlighting somebody like Kevin Carroll that was a piece of my story is amazing,
Mhm.
one, but also highlighting my mom who like she bought my first ticket to even go to Oregon for a design class at Pensole. And so
Mhm.
it's just really a no-brainer for me to
For
say,
sure.
you're such a part of my story. I love you. I appreciate everything you've done for me. Something as small as this logo that would be meaningless for somebody else. Um, I think she really liked it. She teared up a little bit and all the things,
Yeah.
but the funny thing is, it's kind of old and faded a little bit. But I got the
Mhm.
same logo on my arm when I was 17.
Okay. I
She
like
went and
it.
got her first tattoo. I took her to get it, and so she
Mhm.
was like, "Man, I'm here. You can get one too, or whatever." And I couldn't think of what to put on myself. But
Mhm.
then like that K logo just kind of highlighted in my head, and I was like, bro, I'm gonna put that on my shoulder. Like I'm gonna be the coolest 17-year-old out here.
Yeah.
Like everything had the sleeve up. Like, hey, how y'all
Yeah,
doing,
yeah,
bro?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I just got that
But
done yesterday. Yeah.
I mean, you feel me, just sitting in class like this, or
Yeah. Yeah.
but it was a good feeling for her, but also just for me too, to be able to highlight
Mhm.
somebody that I absolutely love. And then of course, like
Mhm.
the lavender colorway actually came from like lavender is her, purple is her favorite color. And
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
I was just like, bro, I get a couple of wins just, with her getting to feel how this product thing feels, and then like this can be nobody else's shoe because I have it on my arm, and it's like everywhere in my office, all that sort of thing. So yeah.
I like that, man. Like I said, I love that you're doing that, man. The storytelling, one of the biggest things for me when it comes to, but no, besides the look of the shoe, man, like the packaging and then the story that it tells, just can take it from I like it. That's a nice shoe to, you know what, I gotta have it. I
Yeah.
now you because I mean it gives you, there's nothing better than buying something and wearing something that means something. Of course, realistically or ideally, we would love to buy things and they all mean something or been justified,
Right.
but it's not the case. So it's always better to get something that you like, or something that you can relate to, something that has a story. And I feel like now more than ever, um, I feel like storytelling is key. You have
Yeah.
so many brands that are really in their bag right now. They're like, look at this, look at this. Like, I feel like to me, Jordan and Nike will always be home for me. That'll always be home for me. But you can no
Mm.
longer put a retro 12 in someone's face and be like, all right, you know, now you're going against these other brands. It's like, hey, look at this shoe, but look
Mm.
at what we did with this collaborator, and look at the packaging that we did, and look at the comfort, and look at the story. And then comes the marketing, and then you may see that retro 12 sell on the shelf, and then boom, next thing you know, that shoe and that other brand is like, oh, this was the release of the weekend right here. This is the one that stole the show. So, and I think storytelling
Absolutely.
plays a major part.
Absolutely, I agree, and I think also, bro, there's so much fluff out here right now. Like,
Mm,
even
mm,
with some of the stories that these brands choose to tell, like
mm-hmm,
some of it doesn't resonate. Like they literally have to go and get collaborators just to make people feel something. And
mm-hmm,
I think as a independent creator, that's why I put so much thought and time into something as easy on the shoe as an outsole, because
mm,
I like to go on walks and do things like that. Like I started my own walking group because of KATALYST. Like we have the KATALYST walking group for like a low impact thing to get people outside, keep people moving and things like that. So that adds to the context of my story. But
mm-hmm,
I'm on a walk one day and there's like a little sandy patch of where we walk over. And I see all of these companies, I see all of their logos, the outsole patterns, and this and that. And I was like, man, my outsole pattern is going to be part of this imprint one day. What do we need to be saying to people? Like, what didn't I think about during my time at Nike that would have allowed me to speak to other people? So
mm-hmm,
that's why I put so much intent and thought into something like the outsole pattern that should be like one of the easiest parts of the shoe to design. And I'm sitting in nature one day, I'm looking at a turtle shell and like the patterns, like, why does this have a pattern on it? Like,
mm-hmm,
guy could have easily just left this blank. Yeah.
mm-hmm,
Blank and colorless.
mm-hmm,
But you're talking about something that's hard and soft and buoyant and can go
mm-hmm,
on land, off land, that can dive down, like all these things. And so it has to be designed like with certain things in mind. And so I wanted to put like more intention about, with all the fluff out there, how do I tell at least my story within
yeah,
everything that's out there? Like, and I know you guys have it hard too, like being a content creator with all of this content being created, and I
mm-hmm,
don't like to take in fluff. So that eliminates over half of the things that are audio visual. I can't take it in because it's going to come out somewhere, right? If
mm-hmm.
that makes sense.
Yeah, no,
Um,
nah.
so it's one of those things where I just want to be I just want to have a level of intention, and that happens to coincide with storytelling.
Mm. I like that, man. No, for sure. When it comes to creating content or just creating in general, I feel um it's a it's frowned upon, but like I've always, my way of when it comes to social media, when I'm following someone or someone follows me, it's not based off of like, oh, I'm not following you because I'm better than you, or like, no, when I follow someone back, it's because of their content. Like I enjoy what you're doing. I enjoy like I have a true interest in what you're doing. So there was this once upon a time where like people were like calling people out because like, oh, you're no better than me. Why are you not following me back? And it's just like one for me, social media is not really my thing. So like when I get on it's to do something productive. You know, I'm not here to find a love interest. I'm here to network and create content and network with others, and we create content together. That is my plan, you know. And as I don't want to say as shallow as that may sound, I mean there's purpose, there is intention behind that. You know, I know it may sound a little transactional, but I mean I like to be realistic. You know, so like you said, that fluff, like there's a lot of stuff out there that's like I wouldn't enjoy it in real life. I can't enjoy it right now. You know, you can't sell me that persona because to me, there is no separation for me. Social media and real life are the same for me. You know, I am the person I am outside of social media, on social media. Like if I wouldn't say that to you in real life, I'm not gonna say that to you in social media. Like I'm not gonna go spaz out online if I wouldn't spaz out on, you know, in front of you. You know what I'm saying? So like if I hold my tongue, then I'm gonna hold my tongue, you
I
know,
wish
if you're
more
right there in
people were
front of
like
me.
that.
Oh yeah, but
I wish
nah.
way, yeah, man, goodness, it's getting out of hand. I think like even with like you know, and I hate to say bring this in it, but like even with the political climate and things like that,
Mm-hmm.
um, I'm such a thinker and a person that pays attention to what's going on around me. Some days it's hard to get on and just sell you this. That's why it
Mm,
has to be purposeful, intentional, and meaningful enough for me to bypass everything that's going on in your day and the world to try to sell you something that means so much to me. But
mm-hmm.
I put enough intent and thought and love and care into it that
Mm-hmm.
I can still be able to give you this on the worst day that's going on. And so, with
Mm-hmm.
everything, like you said, bro, with everything that's going on, it's like, man, you want to be as genuine as real. And I think
Mm-hmm.
those are the people that eventually are going to win and overtake the space. That's
Mm-hmm.
why I still do a lot of things in person. Like I drove from Texas to Atlanta 10 hours to hand deliver the first pair of Catalyst ones that were bought in Atlanta.
Mm.
And I know like it was people looking at me like, bro, that is just ridiculous. Just mail that thing and be done with it. You know,
Yeah.
like you're in the business to make money, but it can't just be about the money or the transaction. Like it's
Yeah.
how you make people feel is going to outlast you
Mm-hmm.
longer than the digital content that we're making.
Mm-hmm.
How did he make you feel? They're going to tell their kids about this. They're going to tell their homies
Mm-hmm.
about this. And so
Mm-hmm.
that's going to be the thing that lives on, like that personal touch. And that's why I made this so personal, because I learned somewhere along the way, like whoever can be the most vulnerable and just real, like whether it be for your content, your products you're creating, this and that, who can dig a little deeper.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the people that I like to listen to that make music. Like when you can tell me a story that maybe it relates to me, maybe it doesn't, but you told it in
Mm-hmm.
such a visual way that I'm right there with you in the trenches, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Like when I hear Nas rap compared to some of
Mm-hmm.
these other rappers, bro, Nas paints such a picture that I'm just like, oh yeah, I was there with you. I saw whatever with you. You know, I'm from New York now.
I like I like it. Nah, man, I like that. But I want to go back because you spoke about, you know, collaborating with, you know, others, and if you had the opportunity to collaborate with any brand or person, you know, who would it be?
um, it's a lot of people out there that I love their work. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that I've 100% found that person yet, but I'm scouring the internet, bro. Every time I go to like an event, it's
Mm-hmm.
certain people that stick out to me that I feel like when I meet them, I'm like, that's a catalyst. That's a person that
Mm-hmm.
you can put literally anywhere, and they're going to find a way to just gravitate to the top or figure it out. And
Yeah.
so I tend to look for those type of people and those type of brands. And you know, sometimes it's visual, sometimes it's a feeling or this and that, but I want to collaborate with anybody that gives me that feeling. Like you are a catalyst. And I meet them all the time in different places. You know, like
Mm-hmm.
I was somewhere eating the other day in Houston, and I can't even remember the restaurant, but the waitress, she was bubbly. She's on top of it. She knows this. She's memorizing this and that. She's asking me about the brand and stuff like that. I'm like, yo, she a catalyst, bro. If you put her in this restaurant, this setting, this, that, she's gonna make you
Mm-hmm.
like more in tune, like make you pay attention to where you are. And so I
Mm-hmm.
look for those type of people and those type of companies to work with. I would love to eventually work with, maybe some of the bigger brands. I love designing for small, like unknown, obscure brands
Mm-hmm.
to try to give them more of a pedestal. But my overall goal is to really, I would really love to, and I was thinking about this the other day. I want to partner with, you know, hopefully this doesn't turn anybody out, but like black owned brands, because
Mm-hmm.
I think black people as a monolith, like we're usually behind technology. Um, and so with me working in 3D printed footwear and things like that already,
Mm-hmm.
I think it would give us a very strong footing in this new tech that I feel is going to be a wave into and an easier way to get into footwear. So if I can pair this with your brand or design something like this for you, then that puts us, volumes ahead of a lot of other companies that can't get into footwear because molds cost so much, traditionally and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. This is just an easier, um, way to get into footwear. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, bro, if you have a dope brand, if you have a dope brand and you stand out to me, I want to partner with you. And to anybody that sees this, bro, hit me up. Like I'm hit upable right now.
Hit up, boy. I like it. I like it, man. Nah, I like it. I like it. Nah, man, that's dope to hear. And I feel like when it comes to far as the black community, black culture, when it comes to trying something new, I feel like we're always hesitant. Just thinking back to my elders, my uncles, aunts, just people older than me, it's always been like stick to what you know. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Stick to what you know. Don't go out there and trying to do nothing different because you can't do it. You're not granted that luxury. Um,
Mhm.
always like to use the people often have this mission and then they get to the top and they forget the mission. Like when they get there, they don't want to reach back. They don't want to help out those black owned companies. They don't want to pass on that knowledge because it's like, dang, I gotta share all over again. I shared the house, I shared the shoes, I shared the mattress on the floor, and I shared the room, I shared the game. Now you telling me I'm finally up here and you want me to go back and share again. So I feel like we're always fighting ourselves. I feel like
Mhm.
we cannot move forward and progress until we fix what's going on here. We always trying to invite everybody to the cookout, but let's take
Yeah,
care of who's throwing the cookout first. Let's get our cookout in order before we start, inviting people. Hey, come on to the cookout, because the thing
absolutely.
about it is those people that you're inviting to the cookout, they see what you're creating. They're like, oh, you don't know what you got there. What you just did there, what you just put, how you put that together.
Hmm.
I could take what you just showed me that this is your custom, your culture, what you've been doing, a struggle meal. I can take that struggle meal and I can take it overseas. I can take it here and make multi-million dollar companies out of it. And it's all because guess what? You decide that you want to invite someone that's not scared, that's not hesitant, that can take what you've
Hmm.
been using your whole entire life and not you're like, hey, I could take that in this new technology. I can take this in this new social media platform and take it, here. And I feel like that's where we struggle. That's where our setback is not taking care of setting up the food, not, not who's cooking, who's preparing the food, how are we gonna serve this food instead of we're
Hmm.
trying to, hey, come on to the cookout. And we'll figure it out once we get here. But you know what, you're invited.
But
You know what I'm
man, you
saying?
Flex, you are speaking the gospel, like the the gospel right now. Like I feel like that is 12,000% correct. You know, thankfully, I have the type of family that both sees like, hey, you
Mm-hmm.
need something stable, but
Mm-hmm.
also go and try to build what you keep seeing. And so that's one of the things that allowed me to first at a young age, like right out of high school, I started my own t-shirt company.
Mm-hmm.
Because I got tired of seeing the same cookie cutter shirts. We buying them every year. And I'm like, bro, I can halfway draw something better than that. Like, let's stop buying their stuff and like, let's put some thought and intention to what we like. We know the
Mm-hmm.
sayings that we like. Let's put that on the shirt. But duh, you know. And so, and I remember other companies here, like t-shirt companies, trying to sell us stuff for Juneteenth. I mean, I'm from Texas, where it originated at,
Mm-hmm.
and these, I'm sorry to say it, but Hispanic and white-owned t-shirt companies are
Mm-hmm.
selling us Juneteenth shirts. Everybody's
Mm-hmm.
selling us back our culture and our flavor and our this and our that. When we know that they don't have that, they don't have our sauce, they don't have our seasoning. And
Mm-hmm.
I started seeing it even more as I worked at bigger companies. When I during my time at Nike, I'm just like, bro, they're selling me my own lens back.
Mm-hmm.
What if I take this lens and put it on a product that I like, you know,
Mm-hmm.
or something like this or something like that? And so I was like, man, I'm fighting so hard to be at a table that I could build, you know. I'm fighting
Mm-hmm.
so hard for a chair at a table that I can build. And people are like, well, I'm gonna build my own chair. And I'm like, well, hell, I'm gonna build my own table. Like, we are that. We have all of the
Mm-hmm.
sauce to build all of this. We have, you know, if we have a few people in our community that have specialized knowledge towards a thing, we
Mm-hmm.
got to lean on that. And that person can't be so, you know, like such a gatekeeper or this and that to say you can't help other people. But also, um, I don't think everything should be a transaction, but you need to, we in our community, we have to pay people like that, bro. Because they had to go and get the knowledge for this or for that. I
Mm-hmm.
spent almost 10 years following this footwear thing out, you know.
Mm-hmm.
When I left for the journey, it was maybe a few people on my side, like my mom and a couple other people that was like, man, you got this. You can go do it.
Mm-hmm.
And even they, at some point, they were like, bro, you just gonna have to get a job. Like, I don't. And, you know, I would do odd jobs and different stuff like that to pay the bills. But at the same time, I'm a champion for people that'll follow their dreams. That's why I put it on the shoe. You know, like I'm not putting it on here
Mm-hmm.
just for fluff or for a cool design feature.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what I really believe. I don't believe like you have dreams to just have them. You have them because you can obtain them, and you have a lot of the things in you to do so. It
Yeah.
just takes something to pull it out. It takes the hero journey to pull it out. And I think people are scared of the journey as opposed to things that they already know.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a big thing in our community. I know I can go over here and make $12.47 per hour.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen other people live off of that and raise their kids
Mm-hmm.
off of that. I know this works. You know, I've seen this career path and it works. That's why 75 people in my community of 100 do the same job. Like they're a
Mm-hmm.
nurse, a teacher, or this, or they make
Mm-hmm.
t-shirts.
Mm-hmm.
So I know I have something that a lot of people don't. I know I
Mm.
have something that's valuable that a lot of people don't, even just the knowledge to do it. So instead of like trying to work with me and get the knowledge, people just like, oh, what kind of machine do you have? What kind of material is that? So they can go
Mm-hmm.
home and try it. And
Mm-hmm.
I'll let them do it because I
Yeah.
know if it took me, who's been around footwear strong for 10 years,
Mm-hmm.
all the time to figure it out, then I know it's going to take them like
Yeah.
you know, by the time they figure it out, we're going to be on version 7, 8, 9, and this is going to be a wave that they're going to kind of miss out on. But
Yeah.
I want to partner with people that are thoughtful to people that have something of value and that want to
Mm-hmm.
work with us. And as
Mm-hmm.
far as inviting people to the cookout, I feel like I just feel like, man, the cookouts have to get better for you know,
That's what I'm
um,
saying.
like
We gotta fix the product before we start trying to get it out there, you know.
also we don't have to invite people.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that part too. That part too. Now I will say I am a strong believer in, you know, supporting the black community, black culture. Proud to be a black man. I never down that. but I also am a strong believer in including others as well, and not, not just because of their race or because of their background. Like, because there is some people that put that work in, and it's not just based off of where they're from or what the color of their skin may be. I mean, that exists. Yes, that is real. We know that, but I don't just push them out because of that either, because there is some valuable information. Because the thing is, I was talking about, you spoke of Joe. On here, I like to have what I call a black round table. I have all black panel, women and men, and we talk about how to preserve and push black culture and the black community forward throughout the entire year, not just for that month. That month is what we're just talking and getting together. And they were getting on me because I was talking about, if Target called me for a meeting, would I go? And I told them that I would, under telling them that, like, okay, the only way we're going to get into these rooms is if we go to the meeting. I feel like a lot of we're holding ourselves back is when we're like, oh, I'm not dealing with that person. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. There's a lot of knowledge that, let's be real, we just don't got it. We just don't got it. It's not our fault. That's just the cards that we were dealt. But the only way we can get better is if we change the formula. And the formula has always been, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do it on our own. But sometimes you got to go to those meetings. You got to go to those meetings. I'm not saying sell your soul. I'm not saying, forget what you believe in, forget your morals and all that. But let's go to these meetings. Let's get in these rooms so you can invite more people. Let's stop inviting people to our cookout and let's start going to other cookouts, and then we can bring people along with us,
I respect that point of view, man. I respect it. The people that you're talking about are catalysts, honestly. Like, and that can come in any form. That can come in any diverse background or whatever. The cross-pollination is what makes us great. And I think, where we're at in the U.S., if we would ever just realize that it takes everybody to enrich this thing and make it the best thing that it can be, during my time at Nike, I would design something, and then the layering of other people who are, smarter, they come from all different backgrounds that went to school specifically for these things. They always made everything that I would design better, which makes me a better designer over time. So I see that perspective as very valuable. At the same time, I think it takes, in order to change systems and things like that, you have to have people willing to work inside the system, and you have to have people outside of it chanting, fighting, doing everything that needs to happen for inside out change. Because if we change the outside and the inside still is the same, then we really haven't changed much, because it's the same thought nucleus that's going to keep producing the same outward thing. And that happens corporately, that happens countrywide, that happens in like families or group. In business, they call it groupthink. And that's why you have to have contributors. Like Nike brings in collaborators to get out of that groupthink, somebody that's just going to hit us with something totally different. And I think we need those things. Those are valuable to our community. But at the same time, I'm in a space where I wouldn't take the meeting with Target, because Jay-Z is, and I, we kind of getting into this thing, but at the same time, it needs to be a part of the conversation. Like Jay-Z is one of my favorite artists, but I've seen him on the other side of two things that I really, like I really believe in. The Kaepernick thing, where he's saying like, we're not kneeling anymore. And then the whole partnering with Target thing, knowing that we're boycotting right now. And, I hear other people bringing up like other companies that we use for this or use for that. And I'm like, yo, can we just focus on this right now? Like when they were doing the bus boycott, it was the bus boycott. But in order to get people in different places during that time in history, they were buying cars from white-owned companies and driving people around in those. But that bus boycott stopped enough economically that change had to happen around it. And it affected a lot of things. That one domino could affect multiple things. And so, it's up to us where we want to pinpoint change from, and
Mm-hmm.
no thousand people will agree on the same thing, but
Mm-hmm.
we have to find the commonality
Common
of what
ground for
change
sure.
has to be. And that's the same thing with products. What's the
Mm-hmm.
commonality in me producing a shoe this way
Mm-hmm.
over traditional or this and that, that's going to make it viable for other people? And we find that through line and that red line that connects everything, and we just design from that space. And it's still a shoe at the end of the day that you can do everything in, or and you have another option. So yeah, it's we could go really deep into,
Yeah, nah, for sure, nah, for sure.
but we do agree
But
that things need to progress, though,
for
need to
sure, for
evolve.
sure.
So
No, absolutely. That's definitely one thing I agree on. But I definitely have to. I definitely send you an invite to my Black Round Table. I want you to be part of that. That's where that
please.
episode is kind of catered to and dedicated to those types of discussions. But as we get back into footwear, what advice would you give to someone that's just starting, that want to start their own brand or their own footwear brand? What would your advice be?
I would say, man, think about intention,
Mm-hmm.
intention, the stories that you want to tell, and if you don't have stories, like how you want the product to feel.
Mm-hmm.
If you start when you're designing, like form follows function. If you
Mm-hmm.
just start with that principle, you can make a good solid product. And so I would say get to learning like how to use programs, how to design within those
Mm-hmm.
programs, get around people that have done it or are doing what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Don't always aim for the top people that are so far ahead of you. Like you probably won't be able to talk to Tinker right off the bat,
Mm-hmm.
and if you can, that's great. But
Yeah.
also there's people, like I think, what's her name? Issa Rae was saying like the people beside you that are trying to figure it out, learn from
Mm-hmm.
them. Just learn that all of these are viable sources to build you into a better thing that you're trying to become. So those two things like can help you exponentially. And then just get around the point of it that is speaks to you passion wise. Like, why am I passionate about this? Am I getting in it to serve others, help others? And that's one thing that's always my North Star. How do I serve you through what I'm making? If
Mm-hmm.
this doesn't make your foot feel better by the end of the day, then I didn't necessarily do my job. If you don't believe that it's possible for you, like whatever dream that you're trying to catch, then I didn't do my
Mm-hmm.
job. So it's really just those sorts of things, bro. And I know that's kind of broad, but
Yeah,
they
nah.
work for just about every industry. Yeah.
Nah, I like it. But as we close out the episode, I always like to end my last question to be about legacy. So when it's all said and done, what do you want your brand to stand for? What's the legacy that you want to leave?
I think it's just in the name, in the name and in the intention of design. Like, it's possible. Number one, it's
Mm-hmm.
possible. Like literally whatever you're trying to do, whatever you feel like you were hardwired to do when you came here,
Mm-hmm.
that is possible for you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and if you just leave that as a legacy for other people, to know that it's possible for them as well, then you've truly done a good job. But also that being a catalyst is not a finish line. Like you're constantly becoming something every day. And so on the way to becoming, you're going to have good catalyst moments and bad catalyst moments. Like
Mm-hmm.
you might go through a breakup that changes you into the person you need to be for the next thing. So,
Mm-hmm.
just kind of keep that in mind for yourself and other people that you're constantly becoming. And I think those two things as a legacy and chasing your dreams, bro. Like chasing and catching your dreams. Like those three things for me have always kind of kept me just on task. Like when I
Yeah.
feel lost, I can bring up like it's possible, and kind of get myself back on track. Or when I feel lost, I'm like, man, the dream is this. How do I keep that
Mm-hmm.
as my North Star? I think you were saying like getting to the top of the mountain, and you're just like,
Mm-hmm.
bro, I made it here, but where's everybody else at?
Yeah, for
you
sure.
know?
I like that.
Um, I'm all about trying to get other people on that mountaintop with me, and then looking at the next one, just like, we can use half of what we learned here to get to that next mountain. So, like, how do we do it? Like, but those things are my legacy. Pursuing your dreams is possible, and Catalyst is all about becoming.
I like that, man. I appreciate that answer. But as we close out the episode, man, what is your showcase shoe? What do you have for us today?
Well, I mean, outside of my own shoe, of course, the Catalyst One, you can pick that up at www.catalystfootwear.com. Five different colorways. So besides my own shoe that I absolutely love, I brought this shoe with me. So Wilson Smith III is one of my favorite footwear designers. This is one of his most iconic shoes, the Airmore Tempo. And they did this specifically for him towards the end of his career as he was getting ready to retire and things like that. And so it has his start date, like when he started, like you can probably barely see it, but when he started, and then just like another couple of nods and touch points around the shoe. And then he signed this pair for me. I was one of the first people to get mine signed. And so he's such a big part of me, like pursuing footwear. A lot of people say that people treat you how they met you. He met me as a dishwasher at Nike World Headquarters. But he always saw me as this catalyst, this person. So every time he'd greet me, he'd say, "Superstar, what's up, superstar?" Like, you're one of the best designers I've ever seen. Like, he'll just keep building me up. And like over time, I truly started believing it. So I picked this shoe because one, he autographed it for me. But two, I never would have got here if it wasn't for people like Wilson along the way that allowed me to dream bigger. And he's also credited as the first Black footwear designer at Nike and just within the industry. And so our stories continue to like collide over time. So, yeah.
I like it, man. I like it. What I got today is, this might look a little familiar to you. So it's the Reebok question, and that OG red toe. So funny thing happened around 2020. People really fell in love with vintage, and we started selling dirty shoes and shoes that already looked aged. So this is paying homage to the original release, and you might not be able to tell it, but this already has like a off-white color. The soles are already yellowed, and the material has like that real dark red, kind of shiny. And this is just, it's showing like if it was just that OG red toe that released around, that first time we seen it, and this is what it would look like aged, kind of like reimagined. That, I mean, that's the better for the lack of words. This is a better way to explain it. But yeah, I've always been a fan of the Reebok question, and honestly, I like the idea of this kind of already aged look. Always been a fan of like that off-white cream color. And then some shoes just look good already. Once they start to age, they look even better. And that's what they did with this. So shout out to those guys at Reebok for this.
Man, that's literally, like I said, man, that's one of my inspiration shoes for how I did the toe on my own shoe. And so just even thinking about that, like seeing that shoe growing up, bro, like it was one of the first times I was like, I don't care what the new Jordan is for the year, give me that. And I had it in like 4 or 5 colorways. But it's definitely one of those shoes along my journey that I would pull from my childhood. It's just like, bro, I love that shoe. Like I said, I had it in 5 or 6 colorways, and I hooped in it, did literally everything in that shoe. And so like now that I'm able to create my own things, I'm like, bro, what kind of memories are people going to create in this? Like, is anybody ever going to say like the Catalyst one, yo, bro, like pull it out on the podcast, like this was that one, Yeah,
I like it, man. If all you gotta do is speak into existence, man. So, and I feel like you got the right mindset. You're a catalyst. You gonna make it happen. That's what we're gonna say. For sure, for sure. But before we go, man, is there anything, any final remarks that you have for the listeners and the people tuning in?
If you've never tried 3D printed footwear before, it's just another viable option that's on the market. And I think the more of us that get into it early, the more that we can kind of benefit from it. Like we can customize the inside of the shoe to your actual foot. We can do so many things like that are just like next level. If anything happens to the shoe, like you can send it back to us. We'll break it down, melt it down, and keep it in production, like by reprinting something else. So the sustainable factors and the customizable things with 3D printing are only going to continue to get better. And so jumping in at this time, like I said, you can hit me on www.catalyst with a K, Catalyst Footwear, all one word.com to grab a pair. And we have different merch and different things like that that'll be coming out. But really just, man, be open, you know, and like I keep saying, bro, our tagline is it's possible for a reason. Like if you think it's possible for you or, you know, whatever dream, whatever thing you're trying to pursue, then that's half the battle. So yeah, that's pretty much it, man.
I like it, man. I got one more for you. I got a rapid fire question for you.
Absolutely.
You're approached by an investor. They're like, you know what? We love what you're doing. We love your design. We got $100 million. We're gonna give it all to you. We're gonna power your dream, your vision. But you got to change the name. What is your answer?
You know what? I would name every shoe from the line Catalyst. And as long as it's not Target, we taking the money. No, playing. Target, I don't mean any harm, but I don't even know. In a roundabout way, bro, we're open to investors 100%. And, you know, like, I love the name, but I think calling a line Catalyst would be just as much as impactful as anything else. And I would probably try to get them to spell it with a C.
I like it.
Keep
See
the name.
That's what I'm saying, man. You go into those meetings. There's a way to attend the meeting but not be involved in it. But I like it, man. But that's what we're gonna end it, guys. As I always say, love, peace, and sneakers.
Peace, man.
Retro 7s, retro 3s, metallic silver, retro 11, sitting on freeze. They got so